See it there. Yeah. You got one? Okay. There we go.
All right, so I'm going to
I got that.
introduce and then
Dirty. You got that white shirt.
answer questions, just answer what questions you have.
Set up a room. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. So,
Matrix already.
Check, 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 check.
Thank God.
Oh, thank you. Too kind, too kind. Why do you have a triangle? Why can't I just do a square?
Michael,
Alright.
how you doing?
I know, right?
You need to turn it around, so? Hey, Russell.
I think what it is the flat heads need to be tightened.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, I think it'll be alright. Yeah, you'll be alright.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
So, then you can right in front.
Yeah,
When you
that's
speak, you speak right in front.
Yeah.
You need the speaker to be front and center here.
Ideally, yeah.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
Just about. We appreciate you bearing with us.
Silence your phone, Joe.
All right, what's up? Tell us when you're ready.
I'm good to go.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. David Michael Smith. I'm with Houston United Front Against Fascism and Houston Socialist Movement. This is Hi Sun Bowie with We the People Organize and Warren Randall, the father of Jalen Randall, who was murdered by HPD. We're here today because tomorrow is the anniversary, the 5th anniversary of the murder of the Tuttles by HPD. We like to come out to commemorate their loss and to demand justice for them. But we're not just demanding justice for the Tuttles, that is for Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nicholas. We're also here to demand justice for Jalen Randall, for Nicholas Chavez, and for all the other people murdered by HPD. That's enough from me. Hi, you want to say a few words?
Sure. Again, my name is Hai Bui. The spelling is H-A-I. Last name is B-U-I. I'm the founder of the We the People Organize. It's been 5 years since HPD had a no-knock raid, and tomorrow, the 5-year anniversary. And just give you a quick timeline. 5 years ago, that was before the pandemic. And that was also before the killing of George Floyd in Minnesota. And it was also before Breonna Taylor in Kentucky. Our city is notorious for kicking the can down the road. My question is why? Why are we delaying to provide justice for this family? In Houston, we have a 2-tier justice system. One for unaccountable HPD officers, and the other for voiceless victims. And HPD makes sure that these voiceless victims will not have their day in court. So I ask, why the hold-up? Why the delay? We need answers. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Warren Randall. I'm the father of Jalen Randall, and I'm here to speak on this problem in this country is selective justice for certain people. Everyone is not entitled to justice. It seems like minorities, and other people, underprivileged people, don't have justice that they deserve. This country is the greatest country in the world. It was founded on equality and justice, but it seems like the selective justice that's going on is only works for certain selected people, such as the police and things of that nature. We have incidents where people are killed on camera and the police officers are still exonerated or no bail, and in situations they drag their feet in prosecuting and condemning the actions of police. But when minorities or any people of color have any incidents, they're quickly and swiftly dealt with. This is a problem in America. We were founded on great principles. We just don't exercise them. And it's a shame because we're the greatest nation in the world. We've been examples for everybody else in the world, but we have big disturbances within our own city and our own country. And hopefully we can get to the bottom of this and we can not finally end this. Thank you.
We'd be glad to answer any kind of questions you have, and if you have a question for a specific speaker, just let us know who that is, please.
Can I start with Mr. Randall?
Yes.
Because the case was so recent, you got the grand jury decision that was not favorable for you and your family.
Yes.
How have y'all been doing with that?
Well, it's been a trying process. The whole thing has been trying, and ever since then, just to see somebody, not only a person that I love with my son, actually didn't get the justice he deserved. They said a duffel bag was supposed to present a threat to the police officer. My son got shot over a duffel bag, and that was a weapon of choice. It was a medium-sized duffel bag, never looked like anything, and he never went back in the car. And for us, the prosecutors, they put the least experienced prosecutor on the case. When it comes to, that's just to say that they did their job. I put the less experienced one because I'm really not trying to get a conviction. I'm just trying to pacify the families and people of color to say, yeah, we're out here doing things to help you guys. I'm bringing it to the grand jury, but you're really not trying to get an indictment because you're not putting the attorneys that are truly qualified to actually adhere to the cases. You just want to say you did it. You don't want a prosecution because I guess that's too much. You just want to halfway do your job. You want to halfway say, hey, we brought the grand jury, that's fine. We're supposed to be a pat on the back. But it's an election year right now, and so, you have to pacify people. This is a big game. If you really want justice, you put the people who can get justice for you. You don't just put anybody, because this was a case and it was overlooked and overshadowed the whole time. We never got any type of conversation from the mayor, the former mayor, or anybody else. But, it's always one person that never needs a jury because he decides all things. And so I'm a big believer in God, so that's what keeps me going every day.
This case itself, about the Tully case, it goes in. None of those officers that participated in that did any time.
Yeah.
None of those officers, and it even goes back to the chief passing the buck on the chief at that time. That's real.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that? And has anything been done as far as not reprimand, but changing the system at HPD?
Okay. No, Goings is still, he's been charged, but no trial. So for the past 5 years, he's been spending time with his family. By every holiday, he's been there at home. Now, Bryant has admitted, his partner, Bryant, admitted to the charges, but the sentencing still has not happened. So to answer your question, earlier I was asking the same question. So I'm hoping the media can help me with that question. Why the delay? And who is delaying it? So with our pressure and everybody here, our citizens in Houston, we're demanding answers. So right now, to answer your question, I don't know.
Either Mr. Bowie or Dr. Smith answer this one. I just spoke with the police union about this particular case yesterday.
Yeah.
They insist that even after all these years have passed by, that there was still some criminal activity that was taking place in that house. What's your response?
No, that's a lie. That's a blatant lie. I from the bottom of my heart, no. They're saying it. you know, and you know, I think tomorrow you interview the mom, you ask the mother from day one. So she heard that accusing their kids of having a drug house. And I personally interviewed the neighbors in the area, the neighborhood. I went door to door right after the shooting, and I asked them. No one. If you would think the elder neighbor would go, oh, that's a drug house. Okay, this was a botch from the very beginning. Absolutely.
Dr. Smith, maybe you can talk about how these cases that you're talking about today, that you've been talking about for years, how does that impact the trust that it may or may not exist between the public and the police?
Much of the public doesn't trust the police, and that's not just a Houston problem. We have a systemic problem with police murders and police brutality throughout U.S. history. Think about the history. Slave patrols evolved into police departments in the South, and in places like New York and Chicago and Boston, police departments were created to basically suppress and restrict, and I would say oppress, Irish immigrants. If you look at the history, you've had people complaining about police murders and police brutality since the 1870s. This is a constant in our history, and it's time for us to say, yeah, basta, we've had enough. And frankly, we know waiting on politicians to solve the problem, it's not going to take care of the problem. We, the people, the masses of people, ordinary folks from different perspectives, different backgrounds, we need to come together and demand an end to police violence.
Does it scare you that the new mayor of Houston is now talking and saying talk of tough on crime and that type of rhetoric, which ended up the last time that happened, we had a lot of police community issues.
Of course it scares us, but frankly, I'm an older white guy. I'm not going to be the primary victim of police brutality. For black people, for indigenous people, for Latino people, for Asian people, for other folks, for working people generally, it's very frightening to have John Whitmire come in talking about law and order. Public safety isn't just protection against street criminals. Public safety is protection against bad police, and we got a lot of bad police in Houston.
It's a no-knock. I don't know if they ended the no-knock raid or no-knock policy with HPD. Have they ended that?
Yeah, they're talking about having district judges sign off on those warrants and so forth, but if you think that's going to solve our problem, look at the history. We were told that body cameras would solve things. We were told that integrated police forces would solve things, and yet you see about 1,600 people killed every year, most of whom are killed wrongfully, meaning the death could have been avoided. This needs to stop. And if the politicians aren't going to stop it, if the police aren't going to stop it themselves, we the people, we're going to stop it.
Are you saying community-oriented policing does not work?
I'm saying it's not really sufficiently community-oriented if you're still killing people. Straight up.
What do you see? What do you see at the end? What do you see? This is the 50th anniversary of this. What do you see in the future?
We have a diverse group of people here today, and we're politically diverse, not just ethnically diverse. Some of us would have more faith in politicians. Some folks like myself, my comrades, we believe you need fundamental change in the society to end police violence and other anti-worker and other racist violence. But we all agree on one thing, the problem is systemic. And we all agree on a second thing, we the people are going to have to organize to stop it.
Thank you.
Any other
Thank
questions? We're going to run the speeches a little bit later. They'll still be here. Good?
Thank you.
Start your,
Yeah, we will. We'll start demonstration. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you.
We're about ready to crank up.
Let's go. Who's this? That's mine. Yours? Okay.
yeah, just a second.
Hey, mine's not dead.
So, sweetie, Vincent will speak later too, okay? Yeah. Just keeping a list and checking it twice. Leo.
Under the leadership.
Several mayors.
Under leadership.
Gerald Boyd. And the band of business.